Okay, so I want to talk about this, and I know that some people are already probably rolling their eyes, and they're like, oh, here y'all go, taking something that's supposed to be just, harmless and innocent. It's supposed to be fun and sweet, and y'all turn it into something. And that, I feel like that is a very cheap way to look at this conversation, just because I feel like literally everyone would benefit from this conversation, from us discussing this. So let's talk about it and just get through it, girl. I already know. I can see people already starting to argue in the comments, but like, let's just talk about it.
You hate me. I don't want your nigga, you crazy. That nigga too lazy. I need me a nigga who can tame me. Coming through, we making niggas switch.
Okay, so real quick, this is what we do over here on the Adrian Expression channel. We run our mouths. If you want to hear more of me talking, more of me discussing things, make sure you go to patreon.com/Adrian Expression. I release a podcast episode there every single week, every Tuesday. Sometimes it comes out on Wednesday, but every week we have some cool discussions over there. The patrons always let me know what they want me to talk about. Also, my audiobook, my Black Queer fantasy audiobook, it just came out, so make sure you check my description box for the link to that as well. Got music, got a whole bunch of stuff for y'all in the description. So we already know gender reveals have been like gender reveal parties and all that. In the recent years, they have just been this whole phenomenon where people go and they, gather around, babies come in, we get to see based off of the blue ribbons and or whatever, the blue powder or the fucking pink powder, whether this person, family member, whatever, is having a girl or a boy. And it's been this phenomenon. It's just been growing. Recently, we had Harry Styles doing a gender reveal on stage, like just helping whoever it was reveal to everybody whether it was a boy or a girl. We have Beyonce on stage, and so these things happening and the recent events, the recent stars, artists, or whatever, doing these gender reveals sparked a conversation online about the whole thing. And I know that like a lot of these artists, a lot of these countless other people who do these gender reveals, they're not trying to hurt anybody. It's just like a moment that's supposed to be a real sweet, nice moment. But for me, and there are countless other queer people who feel this way as well. I want to challenge us to think outside of this like binary that we're in and move away from these kinds of reveals. And I want to just dissect it with you. First of all, just on the surface level and just to get some humor in here for a second, some of these gender reveal parties, they're very destructive. Like, what the hell y'all doing? Remember this shit from 2019? This is coming from The Atlantic. An Iowa woman was killed when her family inadvertently built a pipe bomb as part of their gender reveal party. Then this next one from Vanity Fair in 2020. The El Dorado fire in San Bernardino County came from a smoke generating pyrotechnic device, according to California Fire press release. It was not the first time this happened. In 2018 too, a Border Patrol agent's gender reveal party for his future son left more than 45,000 acres in Arizona scorched. Y'all just need to stop doing shit. Y'all just okay, that's the first thing, right? But like getting into the actual topic or the main idea of this is just like, first of all, why do we need to know? Like, why do we need to know what equipment your baby came with? Like, when you break it all the way down, that's kind of the only thing that you're announcing. But I think the reason why people are so obsessed with knowing is that there's this like hyperfixation on knowing. There's this hyperfixation on putting people in one category or another, which is why people are so uncomfortable with like non-binary people or androgynous people, because of this obsession to shrink the world down to mask versus femme, pink versus blue, male versus, and put everything in one category or another. And the whole idea for me is like, okay, so what happens to those people who do not fit neatly into these prescribed categories? To me, gender reveals are a reminder of how much this society ties the equipment that you were born with, the genitals you were born with, to gender expression, and the way that the equipment you were born with is tied to your identity in ways that do not allow for individual autonomy, if that makes any sense. When we think about it, before the child is even born, people have already dictated that if they are born with a particular set of equipment or genitals, they are to be associated with the color blue and sports and manly men things. But what if that child who was assigned male at birth grows up and realizes that they do not like these things that have been pushed onto them? What does that mean for the child? How will y'all treat them if they like the pink side of things? And I'm just, you know, minimizing these gigantic topics to like the pink side versus the blue side, because that's kind of what y'all doing with these gender reveal parties. But it's like, how you already predetermining something that the kid don't even have a concept of their own self, of reality, of anything, you know, and people already predetermine certain things. And this is kind of what these gender reveal parties mean in my head. I also think it's very important to remember the fact that gender reveals are not some old ancient tradition or some shit. Like, this is something very new, and honestly I can see it as being in direct response to trans visibility being on the rise, right? Like, so when people come out here just being so angry at others, at queer people, for critiquing gender reveals in the first place, I'm just like, why y'all acting like this has been some ancient old tradition that you know what I mean? Like, this just started happening, just started getting popular in this way, because then it just used to be a baby shower. Like, so I think also, when you think about gender reveals, think about the videos that you see of the parents when they get, you know, a girl when they wanted a boy, or a parent got a boy when they wanted a girl. Think of some of the parents who get so visibly pissed in the video. I saw a video of a woman during her, I guess, the gender reveal of her kid. It didn't come out to be the sex that she wanted, and she tore the party. Like, she tore the party up. She was walking around mad. Why is that? Why, like, do you stop and think why that is? And I'm just like, to me, it reveals a lot about how society is so gendered, and like our thoughts behind it and what that means. When you see these parents become distressed, visibly distressed or angry when the sex of their child is not the one that they wanted. So just to me, what all this means is that you wanted a boy or you wanted a girl because you wanted to socialize the child or raise the child in one way or another based on the gender you're projecting onto them, or based on your ideas of like, okay, if my kid is assigned male at birth, then he must automatically like these things, he must automatically do these things. Meanwhile, that may not necessarily be the case. Another hypothetical, example, imagine a parent who's obsessed with having a girl. Some parents have some parents who are obsessed with having a girl. Just using this example, some parents have specific gendered ways that they want to raise that girl. They see this girl in dresses, and they see them, wearing makeup and playing dress up together. Like, the parent probably also wants to see their daughter grow up and have like biological kids of her own and have them, you know what I mean? So like, these entire scenarios and situations and the ways that you raise and play out in your head before the kid even has a concept of their own self. You know what I mean? These are decisions. If the kid wants to play dress up and wear makeup and wear dresses and like, those are decisions that the child should be able to make for themselves, not the parents projecting some shit onto them. You know what I mean? So what happens to the child who was assigned female at birth, but then likes things that are deemed as masculine, and you were the parent, remember, you're the parents who's obsessed over doing all these girly things with your child, and then this girl or whatever assigned female at birth, this child grows up. What if that child grows up not wanting to do these things, not wanting to do the things that are seen as stereotypically feminine? Now that child might have to deal with resentment coming from you as a parent because of expectations you put onto her, because you saw her sex at birth and was just like, well, we automatically gonna do these things together. And that may have been one of the main reasons why you wanted to have a girl in the first place. But not every child will grow up to, not everybody will fit neatly, like I said before, into these categories, into these binaries, or into this binary, in the way that these would-be parents, or these future parents, I should say, that these future parents have completely envisioned I think it just says a lot when there's more focus on like what sex the baby is going to be or what gender, whatever it's going to be, versus instead of like, okay, hopefully my baby going to be happy, healthy, and self-actualized. Like it's always, when people have a problem with gender reveal parties or this idea of the binary in general, when they have a problem with these things being critiqued, a lot of times these parents are the ones who have had, I'm gonna have a girl and she gonna like pink and she gonna wear dresses, and I'm gonna have a boy and we're gonna play football and we're gonna do this. What if either one of these, you know what I mean, kids that we talked about hypothetically don't want to do none of that shit? And it's like, to me, gender reveal parties, the binary, people who are transphobic, I think all of that relies on a very simplistic, very exclusionary definition of sex, definition of gender, you know what I mean? And I don't think that a lot of people really examine what exactly it is that they're doing when they're telling us, when they're making a big deal out of what sex a baby is. Does that make sense? And I think when you have these people, you know, cheering when you have a girl, when it's announced that you have a girl, like, oh my goodness, we're cheering, yes, oh my goodness, you're gonna have a girl. Or when they cheer because you have a boy, it's like y'all are cheering for two different reasons. Y'all like, okay, well, she gonna do this, she gonna do that. It's like, I think the idea that y'all have predetermined somebody's life and their preferences and their gender expression and who they're gonna be with in the future and whether or not they have kids or whatever, like, I think the fact that all of that shit is tied to whether or not the baby is assigned male or female at birth is something that as a whole society should examine and free itself from those kinds of strict categories, because it does, not only does it just does everybody a disservice. It does everybody a disservice. It's a disservice to the heterosexual people who don't fit neatly into, like, okay, yeah, you know what I mean? If I'm a heterosexual guy, but I like the fucking color pink, what's the issue? What's the issue? You know what I mean? And I'm using colors as a very simple topic because it can mean so many things. I'm a guy, but I don't like to be dominant. You know what I mean? It could be so many things, you know, and I think that even heterosexual people will benefit from freeing themselves from thinking that boys have to do certain things, girls have to do certain things. I think they would benefit from even redefining just, you know, what it even means, or thinking about what it even means to be a boy, girl, man, woman, whatever. But it obviously this would help, like, just getting rid of, or definitely critiquing this idea of gender reveals or whatever, it and the binary, critiquing it, getting rid of it, definitely obviously would help queer people who don't fit into these categories that y'all have predetermined for their fucking lives. Okay, so as promised, I'm gonna end this video with 5 alternatives to a gender reveal party. If you're somebody who's been thinking about it or critiquing in your own head, like, or been listening to certain arguments and you've been convinced, you know, and you're just like, okay, well, I was planning something, but now I'm thinking about it in a different way. Here are 5, I don't know why I said way like that, way, but you know what I mean. Here are 5 alternatives. So the first one is that you could just have a damn baby shower, sit y'all ass down. Like, girl, get out my face. Like, you serious? You could just have a baby shower, sit y'all ass down. Like, okay, you know. The second one, you could have an I'm expecting / we're expecting, whatever, reveal party. I guess it's kind of like the baby shower, but in this case, you'd be revealing to the party that that a kid is coming, child. I don't know. That's the second one. The third one is a name reveal party for those of y'all who, you know, already have a name in mind or whatever. A name reveal party would be really fun. Instead of a gender, you know, like, okay, the baby's name is blah blah blah, whatever. We celebrated the baby's coming to this fucking forsaken world. Like, oh my god. No, but you know what I mean. Okay, the fourth one, I did some research and I found this one. I thought it was really cute. They said alphabet party. So, and this one obviously, I mean, as well, is for if you have the baby's name already, but they call it an alphabet party. Have guests dress up as a person or thing that starts with the first letter of the baby's name. And I was thinking that would be cool. Like, if you know the name of your baby, and then you just tell your guests, like if it's Hannah or whatever, and you tell your guests to dress up as anything that starts with H, or honestly, you could tell them what to dress up as, and then they come to the party and realize like, oh wait, everybody's dressed up as something that starts with an H, or you tell them that, I don't know, something, have them guess the baby's name based off of the first letter is essentially it. And then the last one is some kind of like hands-on arts and crafts kind of party where you make something fun, like an art or a painting or something for the kid when they arrive, when they arrive later. Or just, it would be a fun little gathering. Everybody do like little arts and crafts and be like, welcome baby. I don't know, something. It's just gifts. I don't know, something. We could think of something that just is a little less, you know what I mean? A little less in the minds of queer people. Or, and like I said, honestly, I really think this conversation would benefit heterosexual people as well, because, whether you're a man, woman, whatever, like, you wouldn't be locked into certain expectations or behaviors or whatever under a binary like this. I don't know. Let me know your thoughts. I know that people, like I said, I'm sure there are going to be a whole lot of people with a lot to say in the comment section. But I really think just expecting people to behave or be a certain way just because of how, they exited the womb, you know what I mean? Is just, it locks us up in cages that we don't have to be in. That's kind of how I feel. So let me know what y'all think. Thank you so much for watching. Like I said, please do not hesitate to check out the description box for even more of my content. Love you so much. And make sure that you have a good goddamn evening.
Holy worship me, yeah, you could blow me. I ain't the only, you so lonely, insecure, they don't control me. I ain't the only, press the holy worship me, yeah, you could blow me. I ain't the only, you so lonely, insecure.